Welcome back to Take Action News, everybody. David Shuster here. Common Cause is a nonpartisan, nonprofit advocacy organization. It's been around for more than, 43 years. They help work for political change in America, and they have done some amazing work in terms of trying to track the influence of money in politics. And here to talk about the IRS scandal, the IRS targeting certain political organizations for audits, is Stephen Spalding. He's a lawyer with Common Cause, and he joins us in studio. Stephen, thanks for being part of the program today.
I'm happy to be here, David. Thanks for having me.
So, Stephen, what do you make of the news the IRS was targeting mostly right-wing Tea Party groups for audits as to whether or not they deserve to have the tax-exempt status of organizations that are supposed to promote the social welfare?
I think that we at Common Cause are as outraged as everybody in Washington and across the country that the IRS would sort of use some sloppy and clumsy search terms when it was trying to do its job in enforcing our tax laws. But really what's equally as outrageous and as much of a scandal, frankly, is the fact that the IRS has not been enforcing the law in the first place. This is kind of the collateral damage of Citizens United. Citizens United says, of course, that corporations can dip into their general treasury funds and spend unlimited amounts of money on politics. Well, naturally, 501c4s, these social welfare nonprofits, they're corporations too. And so we saw them explode in the wake of Citizens United, which was decided in January of 2010. It went from about, 1,200 to 1,400 applications that year to over 3,400 pending applications to form these social welfare nonprofits. They've been existing now for at least 2 election cycles, and the only reason they exist is for people to set these up and hide their donors, but dump tens of millions of dollars into our elections without any accountability or knowing who's spending the money in the first place.
So when we're talking about a 501c4, Karl Rove's nonprofit, Crossroads GPS, which dumped $70 million in the last election, that is essentially a 501c4. People, corporations, whoever can donate money anonymously into that group. Is that correct?
Exactly. And this is a perfect example. It's a sham nonprofit. Karl Rove's Crossroads GPS is really the nonprofit arm, if you will, of his super PAC, American Crossroads. The only difference is you can donate to American Crossroads and you're going to be identified, you're going to be listed as a donor, or you could give to Crossroads GPS, the social welfare nonprofit of Karl Rove's, which was spending $70 million calling for the defeat of President Obama. They bragged about how much money they were spending, changing the tone of the election. And this gets back to the IRS situation. Here we have the IRS, a bunch of unfortunately mismanaged lower-level employees out in Cincinnati. Washington didn't know really what they were doing, the people they were reporting to. Confused about what the law, if you read the IG report, it's pretty damning in the sense that these IRS officials didn't really even know how to enforce the law, what the law was, and they were concentrating on these little Tea Party groups out across the country that were really, jaywalking, whereas Karl Rove, the Koch brothers, their Americans for Prosperity group, were running red lights, and the IRS didn't do anything. In fact, their application is still pending. And that's one other thing that just shows you how disturbing this all is. You can start operating as a 501c4 social welfare nonprofit and start playing in elections just by self-declaring. You then submit your 501c4 application, which can pend for upwards of 1,000 days while the IRS says, what do we do? Ginny Thomas, the wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, set up her own Tea Party 501c4 social welfare nonprofit back in the 2010 elections that we submitted a complaint about to the IRS because she was clearly forming that organization to play in politics and call for the election of defeated candidates. She traveled to Tea Party groups across the country saying they were satellite offices. They set up websites saying they would oppose any candidates that supported the Affordable Care Act. That was in our estimation, its primary purpose was intervening in political campaigns, which is not what our tax laws allow these entities to do.